I think it makes those kind of.
It's already attached, right?
Yeah. Those were attachments.
I think it's already, air comes already.
Okay, just making sure my notes just
Hello,
said
good morning.
Alfred Brown.
I am.
You're facing an assault causing bodily injury. You're facing up to a year in jail.
I don't believe
I
so,
don't think-
Your
I
Honor.
don't
I
think
believe this
that's
is an
me.
interference with the public
Right,
service.
I'm looking.
Yeah, and that's not
Yes,
me.
you're right. Interference with the duties of a public servant, 6 months in jail and a $2,000 fine.
Quiet!
Notice how calm the judge is right now, but this is about to escalate fast. The defendant went from a simple traffic stop to resisting arrest and getting tased, all because she wouldn't follow a basic command. Here's the real question: was this excessive force or a lawful takedown? What do you think?
We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
On March 11th, 2025, at approximately 1:21 p.m., the officer observed a vehicle speeding at 48 miles per hour in a 35 miles per hour zone, and a temporary tag that came back as expired as of March 3rd, 2025. A traffic stop was initiated. The defendant stopped in the middle of the road, and the officer signaled for the defendant to pull over to the nearest parking lot. The defendant opened the driver's side door and attempted to step out. She became hostile and then was yelling and cursing. The defendant was giving commands to walk in front of the officer's patrol vehicle. Since the defendant was not complying with commands to get back inside the vehicle, the defendant then walked partially to the back of their car, and the officer detained the defendant and began actively resisting. The defendant was given multiple commands to place their hands behind their back, and the defendant continued to pull away and tense on the officer's attempt to walk them back to the car. The defendant then locked onto the door to prevent the officer from placing handcuffs. The defendant was taken to the ground where they continued to resist. The defendant was tased after giving repetitive commands and not complying. The defendant was then successfully placed into handcuffs, and it was later learned that the defendant had an unloaded firearm in their vehicle and was identified by their Texas driver's license.
Okay, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. Can you run the license, please? Make sure it's eligible.
There is no driver's license on file, Your Honor.
Yeah, and I have it eligible. My driver's license is valid.
Unless you have a valid Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name, you're not allowed to drive. That's a condition of your bond. That's the only condition I'm going to put on you. Just when you get into a pissing match with someone with power of arrest, who's going to win? Don't say anything.
That right there is one of the most real things you'll ever hear from a judge. This isn't just legal talk, it's a warning. The courtroom might feel routine, but every decision on the street can turn life or death in seconds. What would you have done in that situation?
It's a rhetorical question, but really, people have been shot for far less. You got to be careful in this life. You only get one. You know what I mean? Really.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm not, like I said, the only condition is just drive with a license and insurance. You've got lawyers, so they'll take care of you because you have a lawyer. I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but just stay in touch with them. They'll tell you if and when you have to come back to court.
Yes,
If
sir.
they tell me just hold on. If they tell me they can't get a hold of you, if you take off, you pick up a new case, I am going to revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Just be nice. It's not hard. All right.
Yes, sir.
I'll have you sign a reset with Victoria. We'll have you take a seat while I get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it, and then you're free to go. Mr. Racines, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 180 days in jail to be probated for 12 months. As part of this agreement, you will do a DWI education class, a victim in. Okay, no victim impact family, I guess, no? Okay. You will also do a TRAS, which is an evaluation to see what other conditions you may need. They may assess more conditions, they may assess no other conditions. If they assess further conditions, you must fulfill them. No drugs, no alcohol, guardian interlock, and 20 hours of community service. Substance abuse treatment as recommended by the TRAS. These are the conditions for you to successfully complete this probation. If you complete it, regardless, you need to understand that this DWI is going on your record. It will be there for the rest of your life. You can never take it off. From now on, you will be facing a minimum of 30 days in jail for any new cases you pick up. Because this is going on your record, you get caught in a car driving, cop pulls you over, you have the faintest smell of alcohol, they see this DWI. It's probably not going to go well for you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So even if you've had a sip of alcohol, I wouldn't get into a car because you're taking a huge risk. You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal.
Here's where a lot of people trip up on probation. Losing your license doesn't just mean inconvenience, it's a trapdoor. Drive once and you're staring at 180 days behind bars. The system gives second chances, but it's watching closely to see if you'll blow it.
Once you plead guilty, it goes on your record. It's going to be there forever. Like I said, you give up this right to appeal. Now, on this probation, no drugs, no alcohol for an entire year. If we find that you're using, if you don't do your community service on time, if you fail to do your class on time, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. I'm going to put you in jail and bring you back out, and we're going to have a hearing to determine whether you violated this probation. You're looking at 180 days if you do. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you still want to do this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How do you plead to the offense? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to send you to the agreement. Before we leave, can you run his license to see whether he...
Yes, I can do that right now. It is currently suspended for ALR.
Right. That's what I figured. Your license currently is suspended because of the administrative license revocation hearing. You are not allowed to drive. So if you drove here, you may not drive home. Do you understand? So you're going to have to get someone else to drive the car home for you. Because you don't have a license now, we will require you to obtain a portable device that you're going to take with you to prove to us that you're not consuming alcohol while you're on this probation. So let's make it a condition that he get his license back. Now I'm adding on another condition that you need to get your license back. It's not hard. I think all you have to do is just pay a reinstatement fee.
Okay.
That's it. So it's not difficult, but you need to do that. And if you don't, if you start driving on this probation, you don't have a license, you're looking at 180 days. So don't just drive. You need to ensure that your license is valid with DPS. Once you pay that reinstatement fee, it takes 2 to 3 weeks just to get back in. So don't just start driving once you pay it because it's not reflected in the system. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Good luck, bud.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right. Thank you, Mr.